Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial series of getting started in front-end web development. This is the episode 3 of this tutorial series. In this episode we are going to finally start coding the header section of our mockup. So let's jump right in. This is the PSD mockup that we are going to code and convert it into the XHTML renderable document that can be rendered into the web browser. So what I am going to do first is start from the top section of our mockup and code it down to the bottom. Okay, so in this episode I am going to start coding the top header section, that is getting our logo and these social icons into our HTML document basically. So to start, let me first show you our root directory. This is our project that we are working on, Alchemy, and this is the root directory. So inside this root directory I've got 2 folders and 1 file. This is the index file, that is the HTML document we'll be working on. This is the CSS folder. Inside this I've got styles.css. This is our styling file that is basically called style sheet. And right now I've got images folder empty, since we have not created any images yet for this project. So let's first start cropping our images. I'll start by cropping the logo image for myself. So let's first, what I have done here is I click my alt key and then press the right mouse key. That takes me to the layer that I have clicked on. So I clicked on background, so I'm taken to the background, and here I can flip it up and get it back, flip it up and get it back, hide it basically and get it back. So I'm going to hide it right now, just so I can get my PNG version of the logo. PNG version is basically something that is transparent, so to say. So what I have done here is I clicked on my marquee tool to make a selection over this logo, and then I will go to the images section in Photoshop and click crop. This crops the logo. So I will deselect the selection by pressing Ctrl and D, Ctrl D. So to save this, what shortcut we have is Ctrl Alt Shift and S. This is basically the shortcut for save for web. You can also do it like this. Go down up into the file section, and here you find it, save for web. The shortcut is Alt Shift Ctrl S. So we are again to the same section. So here we can optimize our image. You can see right now it says JPEG. It is basically 8.275 kilobytes, which is going to take 2 seconds on the web browser to render. So I need to select basically the PNG version for the logo. No, I think I'll go with since the PNG is taking nearly 7 seconds, so in order to render it fast on the web page, I like to go with the JPEG version. I'll select JPEG high, which is taking 2 seconds, so that is fine for me. I save it inside the directory that we have on the desktop, Alchemy, and inside of images I'll call it Alchemy logo. Save. Okay, so now to get back to the original mockup that we had, we do Ctrl Alt Z several times until we are back, and then I can press this background back and I get my background. Press Ctrl deselect to deselect this selection. Now what I will do is quickly crop these icons: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and Google+. So what we can do is click Alt and scroll our mouse just so we can zoom right into these icons and make a selection, again the marquee selection, and image crop. Ctrl Shift S, Alt Ctrl Shift S to save for web. I'll save it as JPEG again, save and I'll call it FB icon save. Okay, Control Alt Z to get back, and then Alt and scroll down, Control deselect to deselect this selection, then zoom over again to get this Twitter icon, then we make a marquee selection over the Twitter icon, image crop, Control Shift S, Control Alt Shift S, and then I save it as a JPEG and call it Twitter icon save. Control Alt Z to get back to our mockup. Again, what we are going to do is now crop the remaining two icons. YouTube, let's go for the YouTube first. Control Shift S, save it as JPEG. Oh hell, cancel. Why is it taking 72 seconds? No, this is not what we are going to do. I have not basically cropped it. I was saving the entire PSD. Let's first crop it. Yes, there you go. Now it's taking 1 second. It is JPEG version. Save it and I call it YouTube icon save. Control Alt Z to get back to our PSD. Scroll down, Alt and scroll down to zoom out, and then zoom in again. Using Alt and scroll up. Control deselect to deselect the earlier selection, and now again select the Google plus icon, image crop, and Control Alt Shift S to save for web, taking 1 second, the JPEG format. Save, and I call it Google plus icon save it. Control Alt Z, scroll Alt and scroll down. Okay, Control deselect, Control 0 to fit, Control 1 to zoom to the 100% of this PSD. So now what we are going to do is code this top portion of our PSD. We have already got our images in the images folder, this image for logo and image for this Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and Google plus. You see, we have got these images in our images directory of the project folder called Alchemy. So now let's think of how we are actually going to get it in there. So first of all, if you go inside your Photoshop document, you see, just make a selection over this entire section here. This we are basically measuring. If you see the width and height that is being shown here, besides this marquee selection, you can see we have got 959 by width, 959 pixel of width and height of 177 pixel. So I'm just going to make a div of 960 basically. Control deselect. I'm going to create a div of 960 pixel. So right at the particular moment we don't have any styling in the CSS style sheet. It is empty, and we have just got the bare bones of HTML document that I had already explained in the previous episode how what each tag means. So in this tutorial we are going to start coding this top section of our PSD. So what I'll do is, inside of our body section I'm going to create a div. I'll call this div header, I'll call it header wrap, WRAP wrap. It is going to wrap the entire header section of our div, and this header section header wrap, and then I'm going to comment it out and call it end of header wrap wrap. This is for our understanding, basically this comment out here, so that once our code gets longer, we don't get messed up that where each tag is ending. Okay, so I have created this header wrap, and what I am going to do is quickly call this div. I haven't even called it and given an ID. That was wrong. So what we do is I give it a ID, div ID of header wrap wrap. IDs and classes are something that we use to call the tags inside of our style sheet. So inside of our style sheet, how do we reference that we are referring to particular ID in the HTML document? It is basically done through these IDs and classes that we are going to see in the upcoming tutorials. So first of all, if I have to reference this particular div header wrap, I'll call this div using this ID. So I control C this header wrap div, and how we actually call the IDs are using hash symbol. For the IDs we use hash symbol, then the ID name which is header wrap, and then the curly braces. So move down a couple of lines, and the first attribute that style attribute that I am going to give this header wrap is the width. I'll create a width, this to be a width of width of 960, as we have already measured in our Photoshop document. And for now I am going to give it a fake height. I haven't actually measured how much I want. I will be changing it afterwards. So HEI, for now I'm going to create height of, let's create height of 150 pixels. Okay, and another attribute that we are going to apply to this header wrap is margin 0 pixel auto. This particular style attribute is going to center our div inside the document. Let me first show you how this document is currently visible without this margin 0 pixel auto attribute. So we have got this header wrap div, and what I'm going to do is preview this inside of our Google Chrome. So right now you will see nothing on your document, but if you right click and inspect element on the document and hover over this header wrap section that we see in the blue section in the code editor below, you can see once you hover your mouse, you have got in the top section here your header wrap div is being selected. So this header wrap div right now is floated to the left. By default, how our divs are laid is like this. Everything that we put in are floated to the left, and things build up like that. So we want this div to be in the center. So in order to make it in the center, we have to apply that style attribute called margin 0 pixel auto. So we put it in here, we call it margin 0 pixel auto. Margin 0 pixel auto means basically 0 pixel, first 0 pixel refers to top and bottom. So from the top and bottom we have got 0 pixels as the margin, and from the left and right we have got automatic margin. So whatever device you are looking at, this div will be automatically centered. We press Ctrl S to save it, and again if we refresh our browser and hover on the header wrap section, you can see our div has been placed in the center. Okay, so next step in this thing is to get a div for our logo and for the icons. Okay, so let's first create a div for the logo. Inside the header wrap, I create a div for logo. I call it div ID logo. Okay, close it there and then comment it out, and logo, save it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a link. Let me first call this logo div inside of my style sheet. I'll reference it. So how do I reference it? Basically this div lives inside the header wrap. So first we go put in our header wrap, then next we reference the logo. So logo div lives inside the header wrap. So first we call header wrap, then inside that is our logo, and inside the curly braces we are going to put in the stylings. So stylings are going to be basically the width and height for the logo, how much width and height we have got of the logo image that we had already cropped, and then actually browsing it inside the CSS document. So let's first check out how much is the width and height of our cropped logo image. And if you hover over this logo image, it should say the width and height, 288 by 113. So width width is 288 pixel. Height is, how much was height? Sorry, I forgot. So quickly, 113, height is 113 pixel. And next is we give an attribute called background URL, and we browse to Alchemy logo. Okay, and next attribute that we give is no repeat. No repeat basically means by default if you don't put this no repeat, then your logo will be repeated through the entire section of this logo div. So I don't want it to be repeating, so we put no repeat after our background attribute. Okay, so now let's save it and save our HTML document as well and preview in Chrome. You see here I have got our logo up inside our header wrap. We have got the header wrap in there, div header wrap, which is centered, and then inside of that I've got my logo. Now at the moment logo okay, at the moment basically logo is it has the width of 288, but it is not floated to the right, and as you can see in the orange section, it is basically covering up the whole of this header wrap div. So anything if we put any div, it will not be right in line with the logo section, and it will go basically it will sweep to the bottom of this Alchemy logo. So in order to do that, we'll make it to float to the left. So I put an attribute called float left. This attribute is going to float this div to the right. Now if you refresh your browser and hover over your logo, you see that orange section to the right, it disappears. This is because we have floated the div entirely to the right, and now it is being bounded inside 288 pixel by 113 pixel. So to the right of this, we will be creating a section for our icons, followers icons, which is basically the social icons, Facebook, Twitter, etc. So let's jump right in, but first let's make this to be a link. As you can see, if you hover on this logo, it's not a link, so we need to make it a link. So what we do is go inside our index.html and just create an anchor tag outside of our logo div. So we wrap our logo div inside anchor tag. Anchor tag is written as a href. For now we can put href to be hash. Hash is basically a placeholder for our link wherever we want this link to take when it is clicked. So right now we put in a placeholder which is hash, and then in here, or you can say in here, we just close our anchor tag. And if you refresh your document again, you will see you get a hand tool when you hover over your logo. There you go. So next step we are going to put in is getting these icons in there. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to create another div inside of our header wrap, and it will be called social div id social, and I'm going to end it here. Put comment for myself and social. So now I'm going to call this reference this social div inside of my CSS document. So hash control V social, and before it I'm going to put in the header wrap since it lives inside the header wrap. Okay, for now I'm going to put some default width and height. width width is equal to, I'm going to give it, how much should I give? Let's give it 200 pixel width, and I'll give height of, say, I'll give height of let's give it 100 pixel, or not even 100 pixel, let's give it 60 pixel height. Okay, and next we are going to do is float it to the right, since we want it to be floated towards the right section of our document. So if you save both of your HTML and CSS style sheet and then refresh your browser, you are going to, inside of your header wrap, this header wrap, you have got two div. One you have the anchor, one you have inside the anchor this logo div, and one outside the anchor, it is called social div. So both of these anchor which has got logo div inside of it, and this social live inside the header wrap. So if you hover on your header wrap, you see it is being floated to the right section of our document. Now what I am going to do is increase its height width a bit. So if you just click on the width in the CSS section on the right part of the code editor, and with your up arrow key you can see, you can actually increase or decrease your div's width right inside of your document. This is for you to see how much you want it to be. So I'm going to make it 295. So inside of our CSS style sheet, let's put it 295 pixels. Okay, this is being committed. Now let me just give a background color for this header wrap so that you can understand how things are happening in here. Background, I'm going to give it a color of, let's give it a color of, what do you say, green, just so we can understand how things are being placed. We don't get green on this alchemy logo since it's it has got white background, it's a JPEG. So let's not even give it a green. Why should we? You know how things are happening in here. So just let's start coding inside of our social div. Inside of our social div, I'm going to create a label, one div called I'm going to create a div called label, div label, label, div id. Let's not give it an id, let's call it a class, cl, class label, label. Basically the difference between classes and labels is classes and IDs is that you can have as many classes with the same name inside one HTML document, but you cannot have multiple IDs with the same name. So that's the catch in here. I call it div class label and end it there, and inside of this I put in FOLLOW, followers. We have got this text in followers on, yeah, followers on, and then colon. After that we are going to create an unordered list, ending our unordered list here. This unordered list will actually hold those icons. I'm going to create Lee, and inside of these Lees I'm going to create anchor tags, anchor href equal to hash and our anchor tag in here, and then copy it 4 times, I guess. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. So we'll be having our these icons inside of these anchor tags here, and then we'll be styling the entire thing up. So let's first call each of the icons in there. So I call it using image tag, image source. Let's first call in Facebook. Okay, close this image tag here. Next up we have image src source, and get in, I guess, Twitter. Close this image tag in here. Next up is image source, browse YouTube, I guess. Close this image tag up in here. Next up is image source Google Plus, and this here. Press Ctrl S. At the moment I have not given any styling to this social div inside in here. That means that everything you are going to see is going to be a bit messy. If you just refresh your browser, you can see we have got these unordered list right from top down fashion. We have got Facebook, Twitter. You see we have already we are already getting hand on here, hand tool on each of the icon. This is because we have put each of these image tags out inside of anchor tags. That is the reason. So next step for us is to get each of these things in line. That means they have to be in this fashion that we can see in the PST mockup here. So to do this, we are going to basically style our unordered list and the label tag. Okay. So first up, we call the label tag here inside of social. To call the class, since this is a class, label tag is a class label. So to call a class, we use dot and then the class name, control V, label, and then curly braces. Again, inside of curly braces we are going to put in the attributes for this. So the first attribute I'm going to put in is the font that I want for this. So font, FAMILY, family. I'll put for now I'll put ARIAL, Arial, Helvetica, sans serif. Font stack. Next I'm going to give it a font size. Font size, let me see how much is the font size inside in here. It is saying it's 16 pixel, so 16 pixel. Next I am going to float it, FL, float it to the left, and then afterwards we come to style our unordered list. So again, going inside social and unordered list. First thing that we are going to style our unordered list is that we don't want this unordered list styling that automatically puts the these dots in front of the front of each of these logo, in front of each of these icons for the social images. So what we are going to do is put a style attribute called list, STYLE, style none. This should move if we just refresh. Yeah, you see those dots are gone now. The next thing that we are going to do is style our list tags, control C. So we'll go in here and then afterwards call the Lee attribute, Lee tag, and then to make it inline we give it an attribute called display inline. This should put everything in line. You refresh again, you see these social icons are in line now, but it is still down to this follow us section. So we want these icons to be in line with the follow us. So to do that, what we do is float our UL, float the UL to left. Just float it to left, control S. And now if we browse again, now basically it's not taking. Let us see what is the problem. Maybe padding is the problem. Let's give it a padding, PADD, and the padding of 10 pixel. Does that make any difference? Yeah, there is some margin which is pushing it down. So first we give it padding of 0 pixel, and then next we give it a margin, margin of 0 pixel. That moves it right to the place. So basically, if you don't understand the difference between padding and margin, this is the right time I can explain it to you. If you deselect these attributes that I had given inside the style section of our browser window, so just click them off and then hover over your UL tag in the right element section. You can see in the orange what is being shown in the orange at the top and the bottom. This is basically the default margin that comes with the UL tag. So by default you have got these margins applied to your UL element, and you also have default padding left, which you can see in the green right before the Facebook icon. So what I need to do is I need to make these to be 0. I need to basically remove these things from here so that it is in line with our follow us on text. So I'll put these things in the style section of the UL in our style sheet. So I need to make it margin margin 0 pixel and also padding of 0 pixel. That moves it in place. If you refresh again, you see it's in place. So next thing I'm going to do is customize the height of this social div that we had already created earlier. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. How much do I need? I basically need 27 pixel. So put in 27 pixel for the social div's height. There you go, 27 pixel. So next thing that I want to do is get it a bit down. So I need to put margin top on the social header. If I apply margin top attribute to the social div, margin top of 20 pixels, say, just a second, I wrote incorrectly, margin top of 20 pixel, you can see your entire right element, that is the social element, is being taken down. So I can give it as much margin as I want to make it just like the PSD. So I take it down to this section. I'll give it a margin of say 62 pixel, and I also need to reduce my width on the social element a bit. So I'll make it, you see it's moving, I'll make it 209 width and margin top of 62 pixel in the social section in the style sheet. In the social section, how much was the width? See in the browser, 209 pixel, and I need a margin from top. I need a margin of 62 pixel from top. Margin top. I need 62 pixel. So we'll have our top header section created, top portion of the header section created, just like so. So in the next tutorial, I'm probably going to discuss how to create this custom menu system here. I'm going to hand code this menu bar. So to follow me, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thanks everyone.